months. And we're joined right now by Silent. Silent, where are you calling from?
Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. Okay. What microphone are you using? Because it sounds like
Yeah,
you're
no,
calling in
it's
on a
really
cell
bad.
phone.
My
Yeah,
other one broke, so I'm on like a super backup mic.
okay. Well, no worries. We can hear you. Tampa, Florida. So what do you got for us?
Well, last I kind of stole my hot take, but I think Echo Fox is going to fourth this split, and if nothing too major happens, they can finish even higher, maybe in the summer.
Okay, so why aren't you concerned that Dardoch will ruin the team? Because that's what everyone
I
is going to say.
I think that while emotional states can definitely like turn a team and from a good team to a bad team, I don't think that if you're winning, then that changes your mentality than if you're losing. You know, like if you have a team of five players and they're all very emotional and you guys lose games and then you're obviously going to clash and have tears in the team. But I think if you have one player who's, been shown to be emotional and I don't know what other words you want to use to describe him, that as long as like Huni is, doing his thing up in the top lane and your bot lane is doing their, what they did last year and, making fourth place, I think that they can like keep, a high enough skill level that he's happy, I guess.
Mark, is Echo Fox a top 3 team?
I wouldn't say top 3, because there's always that other foot. But what I will say is I think I and some other people underrated just how like good their skill ceiling is, as much as Loco hates that term. Like, we need to remember that in terms of like game/series in the regular season, Huni has lost 3 times in a year. Like, this guy's no fucking joke. He's probably the best player in NA LCS. I would actually say that pretty definitively.
I think right now probably.
Right. So like I think if you factor that they have the number 1 player in the league, a mid laner who never really had problems going toe to toe with anyone, it was more like macro and stuff like that. A pretty good bot lane, not great, but middle of the pack. Like that's a pretty good roster, and like the Dardoch is obviously, when he's on, Dardoch's a god, and when he's not, he doesn't look great. So like when these guys are working out, they like are going to beat anyone in the league, I think. So that's pretty scary to say that they're like not going to finish that highly.
Yeah, I think that like when Travis did the interview with Rick Fox, like he seemed super invested in, like channeling all of his resources and like sports knowledge and all that kind of stuff into maintaining like a good atmosphere. Because like I'm sure that when he was talking to people who decided who to pick, they told him about Dardoch's issues.
So I think.
I'm sure that was.
Did you happen to see? I know I tend to do this a lot on the show now. It
was
originally a joke. It was originally a joke, but I actually, it's good content. People should see this. Silent.
I watched one with Rick Fox. Yeah.
Did you see? No. Did you see the one with Jared Jeffries, who's the president of Echo Fox?
Oh no, that one, older one.
No, it came out the day after. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
the point is,
well, no,
his smile isn't as good. Why would you watch Jared Jeffries?
Yeah, no. Well, so, with all due respect to Rick, I do think that Jared Jeffries, who is also a former pro athlete, is probably more. The sense I got is that he's actually more involved in building these teams now, specifically the League of Legends one over the break. And so that interview was more about building the roster, how they came to it. I'd recommend, if people are interested in learning more about that Echo Fox roster, to check it out, because I think he gave some really good answers. One of the things that he said was that, because I brought up the question of, are you concerned about this? And he said, the thing that when I talked to everybody about these players, they all said that the issues were in game, not out of game. And as long as these guys are good people, I am confident we can work through the in-game issues. Which is a fair argument to make, right? Is that if Kelby's he seems skeptical.
Have you watched Breaking Point?
Yeah. Well, so the question is, the Breaking Point environment was not good.
I'm literally playing 1v9
yeah.
in between series, or in between matches in a playoff series, or fucking. I don't even.
So you can say whatever you want about Dardoch's like emotional or ability to control his emotions, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone, myself included, say he's a bad kid. Like.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you create an environment for a team that's good winning atmosphere.
Sure, I'm just saying Travis's point about like as long as they're all good people, which. Maybe emotions. Sometimes but I would have maintained that Dardoch's a good kid.
Yeah, and so I think if you are Jared Jeffries, because I think I titled that interview with the quote of, None of these guys are going to be worse than what I've seen in the NBA.
NBA, yeah.
Yeah, and so if you are somebody, you found the interview.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Anyway, if you are this guy and you've seen all this, you've experienced all this in the NBA, and you are confident that you can work through issues related to personality stuff related to the game, Dardoch's a pretty good risk for you to take. And no offense to TL, but I don't think TL in 2016 was a really good environment for somebody who has issues in game to like get better. Like I just don't think Steve and Loco and all those guys were really able to make. Like Steve was in the middle of selling his company, essentially. Loco, I don't think had developed, and we'll see this year. Maybe it's changed, but had developed into the mature type of person that could solve this kind of stuff. I don't know. It's given me, after that interview series, it kind of changed the perspective that I had on Echo Fox, and I wasn't surprised to see them do well this weekend, and I would not be surprised to see them continue to do well. I have a lot of faith in their ability to work through issues, so we'll see.
I think that them and Liquid are, in my opinion, the two teams that is like straight up upgraded. Like like every single role was a straight up upgrade. Like they're basically one of the new 4 teams because there's no real like takeover from their last year.
Yeah.
One thing that I saw that actually super impressed me is the clips that they had from some of their games where you hear like the in-game comms. Like Dardoch's communication in their in-game comms, like setting up and then playing through fights, it's not just feeding information. The direction that he's providing and calling and stuff in these fights was like super impressive to me. I was like, damn, this guy, I would like to play with this guy. This would be fun,
This may sound kind of, I know, not true, but I think that the breaking point was made to be dramatic. I mean, like obviously it's true, and that definitely happened. But I think that they obviously made it seem like, I mean, not like painting him as a bad guy, but way more, worse than he actually. I don't think he's like.
I mean, remember this was a guy that split across like 3 different teams last year.
Immortal
signed him to a 3-year deal and talked about how great it was going to be, and he was gone by the end of that split. So,
but I don't think.
Also, based off the fact that they didn't even include some of the worst stuff that I know.
Mark's seen the director's cut, and it's gruesome. That's NC-17. You can't publish that shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, like, some of it wasn't shot because, like, they just didn't have the cameras around for it, So, like, trust me when I say...
Because the cameras were broken. Because Dardoch had gone on a rampage.
What's Super Saiyan? Like, the force of it just, like, broke the camera lens,
Silent, thank you for the call. And Mark, before you go, I want to pull you into another conversation. But thanks so much, Silent.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Sliant. I've been mispronouncing your name.
Shit!
I didn't want to correct you.
You should always.
You can correct Travis. Don't worry.
I tried to when you said my sub, but you didn't hear me, so I assumed that.
Sliant, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Mark,
to clarify real quick, the point about not putting the worst stuff in is not specifically about Dardoch. It's just like the overall team atmosphere. There were things that were not put in there that, or I don't even know if that footage exists.
What do you know, Mark?
I'm just
Damien
saying, like,
has already texted me.
What happened?
Nothing. I'm not going to say what happened. I just know that, everyone.
I'm not going to say what happened. He knows.
Possible. They didn't make everyone look as bad as they possibly could have, is what I'd say.
All right, everybody. Just from here on out, we all know.
Salacious.
There's
I've said this before.
Footage missing from Breaking Point.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's footage. I just said, like, I was friends with a lot of people in the org.
The full story hasn't been told. Maybe we'll get some more courageous filmmakers that will go back and tell the true.
What was the other
story.
thing you want to talk about?
Huni, you because I think people will freak out if we gloss over that. So you think Huni is the best player in North American LCS right now?
I thought more about it
after you made that statement.
Like, no. I mean, I thought more about Echo Fox's ranking, and I was like, who's a better carry than Huni? Like, legitimately, Jensen.
Twitch
you could argue
Jensen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jensen I think is close. I'd say Bjergsen's close, but
I feel like week 1, Huni had the most impact of any player.
Have you heard of a little boy I like to call Peter Pang?
Yep.
I mean, all of TL played super well. Huni buried Solo in that game,
buried
embarrassing.
Flame was like the number. He was like the All-Pro first or second team last split, and he shit on him for daring to blind pick GP against him.
Yeah.
So you need to remember, I think I kind of went to Huni in Korea with my mindset on him. His time in Europe and his time in North America was like unprecedentedly dominant. And if he's going to bring that back this year, like, that's scary.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to see how this develops. What do you think Huni will stay the best over the course of the split?
I don't think he has the best team, and so I think you'll see people outperform him.
Yeah.
At sometimes, and I wouldn't be confident saying that Huni's my favorite for MVP right now, but I think you can make a case that he's the best player in the NA LCS.
Yeah. A lot of teams are going to start game planning for him if they haven't already now.
I mean, you heard FlyQuest in one of their interviews be like, we didn't take pick ban seriously enough versus Echo Fox, and they spent a lot more time in their second game.
Yeah. This is why I'm pretty bullish on Echo Fox. Arguably everybody has been. They just cite the concerns or whatever, but people also forget that Alltech and Adrian were a huge component in Dig's run last year of looking pretty strong. So
Huni was on Adrian was on the Immortals with Huni that shit on everybody.
Yep. And he has an I8.
I'm getting the next guest.
All right.